When the Super Falcons of Nigeria departed for Morocco at the beginning of this recently concluded Women's African Cup of Nations, they had just one thing on their mind: to get that trophy, the new trophy, and to win it for the 10th time. And of course, to get the $1 million prize money. Guess what? A couple of hours ago, about 48 hours ago, they did all these three things in one. Congratulations to every Nigerian out there, and most importantly, congratulations to the Super Falcons of Nigeria. Today, they will be hosted by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and they will equally be having a bus parade around the capital city of Abuja. A very good afternoon to you, our listeners, and our viewers, I beg your pardon, and once again, congratulations. Having me, a man who is here for the very first time. Anytime there's something new, perhaps we also need to have a new co-anchor. Olamide Abe is his name. Very good afternoon to you, Olamide.
Good afternoon to our viewers out there. It's nice to be here talking sports.
All right, like we always do every single time, we start with Punch Sports Extra, the print edition, and analyze the front page. And on the front page this morning, of course, the conquering Super Falcons, the major players, of course, from the team. Not that anybody was not major, but hey, we can't have all their pictures on the front page this morning. You can see Rasheedat Ajibade there and a host of others. Quick one, very quickly before we, go on to other parts. Olamide Abe, the controversy about who truly deserved to be player of the tournament. Was it Captain Rasheedat Ajibade or the superstar, or should I say the new revelation of the tournament, Esther Okoronkwo?
Well, I think it is subjective, and when you look at the criteria that was used by the technical study group, I think you might have to agree with them, but we all have our personal differences. For me, I can say Esther Okoronkwo. Why? Because in the first game that we won, and Esther Okoronkwo was awarded the Woman of the Match, she came on as a substitute. She assisted the last goal. Rasheedat got the Woman of the Match. In subsequent games, Rasheedat got another one. But in the game against Zambia, the turning point of that game was when Esther Okoronkwo single-handedly took Nigeria away from Zambia. Because if not because of her efforts, Nigeria wouldn't have won that game. She had 2 assists, she scored a goal. Yeah. In the semi-final against South Africa, she also contributed. And in the final, we all know things were going wrong for Nigeria until she single-handedly turned it around again. 2 goals, 2 assists, 1 goal again. Overall in the tournament, she has the highest number of goal contribution, 8 goal contribution, 6 assists, and 2 goals. So she was pivotal to Nigeria's chances of winning the WAFCON. And along the line, they awarded Rasheedat Ajibade, probably maybe because she won 3 Women of the Match, one of which should have gone to Esther Okoronkwo. But, well, I believe the technical study group knows better, and they awarded, and which I don't think is that bad. And I think it's a good decision. It's not that bad. If maybe Chebak has been awarded, or maybe another player from other teams, it might have been controversial. But going for Rasheedat Ajibade is not that bad. And it always happens in most tournaments, World Cup, Women Euros, Men's Euros. You can always debate about it, but I don't think it's a bad choice awarding Rasheedat.
All right, we'll be coming back to the WAFCON, rather. We'll be sticking with the front page for now. And, women are really doing great things for Nigeria as a country right now, because the Tigers are also planning to stick with the same trophy they won a couple of years ago. They are trying to retain it at the African basketball competition. They won their very first game. That was a brutal one. And they are playing Mozambique again by 4 p.m. Of course, we know the major guys when we talk about that team. Promise Amukamara. What's her name now? This one of our best players. Ezinekalu. Of course, and the best coach in the world at the moment. Yeah, she's still the best coach because she was the best coach at the Olympics. The women are doing great things for Nigeria. It looks like we are going to be beating Mozambique today, all things equal. And, we may just be on our way gradually to retaining it.
We've been winning the women's AfroBasket for 4 years now. And this is our 5th time of trying to attempt and extend our record 6 titles. I think the Mozambique game shouldn't be that hard. If we are not being complacent, we should qualify to the quarterfinals. And hopefully we are going to face maybe not so bigger teams like Senegal. So I believe we are on the right path. And talking about women doing great things for Nigeria, well, So I think that's the right thing. At least if the men cannot come up with medals, the women that are coming up with medals, at least
the
I
men
think
can
it's
clap now.
well, we are all clapping. At least we are all being supportive. So I think it's a nice one. And some other people also won medal over the weekend, but let's stick with the winning team, the women's AFCON and the AfroBasket, which I am very proud of.
All right, still talking about the front page. African Footballer of the Year, Ademola Lookman, is still being wanted by Inter Milan, and Atalanta have said, guys, we don't have a problem with you taking him, but this amount you are bringing, no be the market who will the price our player be that. You have to pay more than enough, has sufficient funds to get him away from us. They do not want 40 million euros. They do not want 45 million euros. They've been asking for 50, if not more, if they can offer it. But it looks like Inter are trying, to pay not as much as Atalanta wants, especially as the player wants to leave.
Yeah, I think this boils down to both clubs having a disagreement, and the transfer window is running out. Both of them needs to sit down and agree on the price, because Lookman, as it stands, is now injured, and the injury is going to last for about 2 to 3 weeks, which means if they want to conclude the transfer, he might not be able to have his medical. So both clubs should find a way, because Lookman is one thing, he wants to leave Atalanta. That has been very clear over the past couple of months, and Inter does not want to pay more than the 40 million euros. Atalanta does not want to sell him for less than 50 million euros.
Yes.
So if they can find a way, maybe it's going to be player plus cash, it's going to be add-ons, play 40, 5, 40, 10. Just find a way around it, because Lookman should not stay where he does not want to be. So he should just move to it. And me personally, as a Nigerian, I believe Inter Milan is a bigger club than Atalanta, and I will want some of our best players to play at the bigger club. So I will want both clubs to probably reach a deal, so that Lookman can get there. Maybe he's going to have his recovery session, his medicals and the like, and settle in ahead of the next season, ahead of the season that starts.
And preseason is actually ongoing. So if you are preparing for next season, you start by being in preseason. If you have a poor preseason, perhaps you don't have enough time to impress the manager and all of that. But all right, still sticking on the front page, debutants are doing great things across the various new clubs that they are moving to. Perhaps the most, shocking, or should I say the biggest debutant at the moment is Marcus Rashford. Moved from Manchester United to Barcelona, still very much on loan, but as a new club. We saw him doing his thing. Marcus Rashford in a preseason game for Barcelona. Some persons have done the collage of the errors he made in that game, and some Manchester United fans actually sharing that everywhere. But some other fans are saying, look at the good sides that he had in the game and the good moments he had in the game. Marcus Rashford at Barcelona, to be exact now. What do you think of his move? Do you think it will be successful?
If we are to judge by the fact that is Rashford a good player or a bad player, I think we can all agree that he might have had a couple of bad seasons at Manchester United, but the fact that he's a good player has been established. I think Rashford is a good player. Is he just overhyped? Rashford is not overhyped. Is he not just a little above average? Above average, if you want to say above average, what is the next class above average? Like 5.1 over 10? No. I think Rashford is more than 5.1.
Like 8 over 10?
Yeah, let's just give him 7. Because of the
Rashford is 7 over 10?
Yeah, I think it should be 7 over 10.
Marcus
Rashford should be 7 over 10. Even though I don't really like Manchester United, but Rashford is also someone that is loved by practically every fan. Even rival fans love him because of the good deeds that he's doing. We know he's not a player that throws tantrums. Is one that helps out people, and we all know his off-pitch activities have actually won out. And talking about his on-pitch performance, I won't like to dwell much on that, because that was his first game game outside England for any club professionally. So I think it might just be too harsh and maybe too fast for us to judge him by that game, and it's also a dead rubber game too. So we won't know yet. Barcelona is a team with different style. He's coming from a team without a style, so I should not say a different style. Manchester United is just vibes and inshallah. So it's not as if they have a Korean style or maybe a pattern that Ruben Amorim used to follow consistently, and he doesn't even play under Amorim. So I believe he will probably set in. Flick is a very good coach. He will find the best out of him, whichever position he wants to fit in, maybe left, right, middle, thin, anywhere he wants to play. I believe he will definitely get the ground running.
Get his rhythm. All right, Real Madrid have placed some of their superstars on the market, and they are saying come and buy, come and buy. And, you know, the picture on the front page is actually that of Rodrigo. There was a £100 million tag on his head. And, you know, there was a point Arsenal were trying to get him and all of that. And now, I think for Rodrigo, it's about, am I going to be starting? Am I going to be playing? And from what we saw at the Club World Cup, it looks like he is surplus to requirements. But the big question is if he should leave. Should Arsenal get him?
Well, if he's going to go to Arsenal, and Arsenal will pay £100 million for him.
Will they even pay £100 million?
Because I think...
Will Arsenal put down on... Is it worth £100 million?
Well, £100 million for Rodrigo, I think is fair in the current market.
Wow.
If you can judge by the fact that a lot of players, I don't want to use words that are not, but a lot of players that are not even, a lot of players that are not half as good as Rodrigo. They've been going for 97. Even Madueke, the Arsenal bought £53 million. We know Rodrigo is way worth more than that. But in an instance whereby you want to sell a player, and that player probably maybe the player does not want to go, the player can still stay. We know the club might be forced to reduce the price. And Real Madrid, well, maybe they're a club that is well known for having a harsh stance on their player. If they want to sell you for £100 million, they will. Yeah. So I believe it can be done. And the fact that maybe Arsenal will now pay, it's what I don't know, because I don't think Arsenal will, because of what they've spent so far in the transfer market. And he's also a player they can do without. So if they are not signing Rodrigo, is their season going to go well? I think yes, because after signing Madueke, they signed Gyökeres up front, and they have some couple of other players that can also play on the flanks too. So if they sign Rodrigo, well, their chances of winning the Champions League, their chances of winning the elusive maiden Champions League, maybe it can come to reality. The Premier League, they've not won for 20 years. Maybe they can also win that, but I don't believe they can sign Rodrigo for that amount of money.
All right, doesn't believe Rodrigo can go for that amount of money. Umar Sadiq, the Nigerian Umar Sadiq, you know, was on loan last season. You know, trying to get his club, you know, change clubs in the Spanish La Liga and all of that. And now there's still transfer rumor about him. Where do you think he should be playing his trade next season?
Well, I think if you ask Sadiq this question, he will not have an answer, because as at last week, he was removed from the pre-season tour squad. So he was dropped. He didn't travel with the team. It looks like it is a dead end for him and to reassociate that. But while the team was away, he was training very hard. His behavior was very good. He's not being rude. He was facing the club. Okay, this is the club I want to play for. Even though if you don't want me, I still want to stay here. And
he may just stay because it looks like they're dropping
when the club president saw his behavior, he was very impressed. He had an interview 2 days ago, and he was like, no, I love his behavior. This is very good of him, and he might probably stay, because if what we are telling him is that, okay, you are not good enough for us, you are not showing signs that you can play here, and in training you want to convince the coach, I think he might probably stay. And if he's going to stay at Real Sociedad is a very good club. They're a top club in Spanish La Liga, and I don't want him to go to another maybe relegation threatening club, and maybe after they've relegated, if we want to come back and
with Sociedad, he will be in the top 6.
Of course, and he might even qualify for Champions League or play in Europa League or Conference League at least. So if he's going to fight for his shirt and the club will retain him, I think that's a very good one.
All right, you know, Umar Sadiq, he has been in the La Liga for a while now, you know, here and there. At some point, I think Almeria, there was some point it was Valencia.
Valencia last season.
Last season, Sociedad. He left for Valencia on loan. And he was actually doing it with Sociedad until he had that broken leg. And that really affected him. But he's back now, and we do hope that he gets back to his best. And with this, we round off the front page of Point Sports Extra this afternoon. Like I always say, hey, go out there, meet your vendors, grab a copy, over tea or coffee, and enjoy the raid. We'll be moving now straight. We'll be coming back to what happened in Morocco in the last couple of weeks for the Super Falcons of Nigeria. Their first game was against, was it Botswana now? I think the first game
Tunisia.
The first one was against Tunisia, where we won 2 goals to nil. 3 goals to nil. Then we played Botswana, where we had a draw. Botswana was the least rated team right there at WAFCON. And then we went into the last game against another North African side, and then we got 3 points. I mean, it was it was a hell of a game. I remember that encounter as well. But we eventually qualified top of our groups, and then we thought, hey, what's going to happen next? Then we played against Zambia. The Zambians were saying a lot of things, and Nigerians were actually thinking this is going to be a tough game. Desiree Akpara even said that for her, that was the most difficult game of the competition. And then we didn't just walk over Zambia. We beat Zambia and we spelled Zambi. If not for us not getting the last goal, it could have been Zambia. Yeah. 5-0. Then we came up against the South Africans, champions. And it was really tough until Michel Alozie rescued us in the 94th minute. And then we stepped into the finals against Chebak and our girls. And before we could say Jack Robinson, Chebak, sent us a quick message. And before we could get out of the muddy waters, the second one went in. And then they went for a reality check inside. Only God knows what Coach Justin Madugu told the girls, because when they came back firing. A few substitutions here and there. Misola Babajide sent onto the pitch of play alongside Jennifer Echejini. And one of those girls got the winning goal in Jennifer Echejini. We came back with a penalty off Esther Okorunko's left boot. And the second goal, an assist from Esther. A sweet goal from Ijamilusi Omomi Ija, like they call her. And then the third goal in the 89th minute. There was nothing the World Cup winning coach of Morocco could do. I did all this to give you a very quick review of what went down there at WAFCON. At the end of the day, we are champions for the 10th time.
Well, we are all happy. And going into the tournament, after we've won our first game, second game, and the third game, whereby we topped the group, at a point in time, we are now contemplating, okay, should Nigeria come second, so that we are going to avoid the tough part. Because the path we were about to tread, as Zambia, potentially South Africa, and also Morocco in the final, these were the three teams that defeated us in the last WAFCON. South Africa defeated us in the group stage, Morocco defeated us in the semi-final, and Zambia defeated us in the losers final. So I was being skeptical, because not that I didn't trust that girl, but we all know in football, if you can take the Chelsea route to Club World Cup, so
the easy part.
Yeah, if you can take the easy part, if that's the easiest way, so I believe it is what we should have done. But the girls came up, they were the way Zambians were talking tough. Our girls was also talking tough. I remembered Tosin Dwayne saying nothing. Zambia, they are not a tough team. They are not a top team. We are going to beat them. And they came on the field of play that day.
Every other person was careful.
We the fans at home, we are scared, but the players are talking with confidence, and they got onto the pitch. Tosin scored herself, and that was our first international. So it was impressive. And going on from there, we played against the most expensive footballer in the world, Akundanaji, the African Footballer of the Year, Barbara Banda. We defeated them, and even though the last time that we played them in the last WAFCON, they were not there. But now that we were able to defeat them, we felt like, okay, South Africa is coming. You are not as good as you were 2 years ago. Now your best player is not there.
Yeah,
your coach, in fact, even your team, you are owing. They protested few days to the tournament, and they so you are having issues. We believe with the motivation we got from the 5-0 thrashing of Zambia, we can do this. We went into the game. It was not that easy.
But
but at least we got the 3 points. In the final, well, we were all scared, because at the point in time when I was checking history book after we lost 2-0 in final, no team has ever won from 2 goals down. After losing 2 goals at halftime in WAFCON history, no team has ever done that. My girls came out. In fact, I love what Madugu did. And one thing is for a coach to realize, okay, I've made a mistake and correct it. Another thing is for a coach to feel like, no, I can still do it.
But why? Why did he start that game with 2 blocking force?
I think what Madugu did was paying too much respect for Morocco.
Exactly.
In his press conference, he made mention of one thing, that we were the underdog. And I believe under no circumstances can Nigeria be underdog. Super Falcons to any team in Africa. We can never. We are the 9 times champions of WAFCON. We are never underdog. Even we've played England, we are never underdog. England were the European champions when we played them in the last World Cup. We didn't play as underdog. So Nigeria should not be playing underdog to any African team. I don't. Even if we are playing against African All-Stars, we are never underdog, because we are Super Falcons, and we came out with the spirit of being the champions. And we showed them, no, you might have 50, 60,000 fans here,
Yeah.
and we have just about 100 or less. So, but we know we can do this. The crowd was deafening. The atmosphere, no, it was pro-Moroccan, but the girls came out. They got the penalty, which was the turnaround. Okoronko, she did it. She scored. She assisted.
Was Rashida scared to take that penalty? Because she was not handed the ball to her.
Well, I think if I am in a position, I think same thing might have happened. So, and
but that means Esther was full of confidence.
Yeah, she was.
I mean, for her to have said,
yes,
okay, no
take
problem,
it, yeah.
I'm taking
She was,
it.
what pressure? No, I'm going to do this, and she smashed it. So, and that was the turning point for Nigeria. And well, the girls will be back home today.
Yeah, today.
And hopefully they all get their respective MON and.
We heard they are owing them
Well,
bonus,
not
daily
really.
bonus.
Oh, but at least they've not been paid, and we know they cannot pay it while they're there. But at least the tournament is concluded now. Aside that bonuses, they are also expected to
take 30%.
Take exactly of that $1 million. So everything should be paid, and I believe the government should do the needful. And also there are also other bonuses that is being owed from 2 years a year ago.
The
so
likes of Michela Lozier, Plumpter, what's her name? Even Esther, I think even Esther Okoronko is still being owed from oh my goodness.
So
oh my goodness.
Every one of them should be paid, and if we are paying them, we know the next WAFCON is just 8 months around the corner, March 2026. We are also going to Morocco again for the 3rd consecutive time, and this time around to go and defend our title and hopefully qualify for the next edition of
because
the World Cup.
that one is the last 4 that will make it to the last 4.
The
last 4. So no semi-finals, no World Cup tickets.
No semi-final, no World Cup ticket.
Yes. Hopefully, CAF President Mosepe will have increased the prize money because it was 500,000 the last time. It became 1 million now. Who knows? If by March 2026, it may be $2 million.
And also, hopefully, fans will turn out, because the turnout of fans in Casablanca during our games was very, very poor. And a couple of journalists had to turn themselves into fans.
Of course,
because there was no Nigerian present, so they just had to be there. And in fact, just for you to know how poor it was, we were able to hear their
what
voices.
They were saying. So we could hear Coach Madugu.
Yes, so that needs to change for female football to grow, for CAF to increase the prize money. They also have to be making all of this money from somewhere. If it is not merchandise sales, it can be ticketing and match day revenue. So fans and everyone should also try as much as possible to propagate all these
Perhaps they
games.
don't like female football that much in Morocco, because Morocco is a country that loves football. We saw what happens during Africa. I mean, club football, Raja Casablanca, and several other clubs there. But somehow, for the women African Cup of Nations, we didn't see people turn out for games that were not Moroccan games.
Well, I think that might be due to maybe other fans not being able to get into Morocco, because we know how difficult it is to travel within Africa. So we know you have to have visa issues. We have visa issues. We have expensive.
Even your ticket to be as expensive as you are going to London.
Yes, it's even. I think it's more expensive to get to London than Morocco, because before you get to Morocco, you have to get to Turkey. You have to get to Istanbul before getting there. So it's cheaper going to Turkey and coming back. So those are just issues that we had to fix before.
All right, 1 minute. Let's talk about tactics. Many persons, myself inclusive, were not happy with the fact that Coach Madugu changed many of those girls' positions. We could see what happened to Rashida Tajibari, for example. He brought her into the midfield. Tony Payne was playing on the right. At some point, Tony Payne stopped playing completely. Christy Uchebe, we all know how to play in the middle of the park. She was not a prominent force this competition. Okay, I mentioned Rashidat. Rashidat plays upright. Iezo was the 9, wasn't the original 9. After that first game, lots and lots of changes. What's really happened? Mitchell plays right wing for Nigeria. We all know that. But originally, she's actually lefty. It's interesting how everything just turned out. But it worked in our favor. But talking about player movement, I know the coach found a way to explain it, but some people still did not get it.
Well, I think one thing we need to understand is the fact that these players, even though there might be opinion that they've trained and they've played a lot of games, but they've hardly played together. And for a coach that is coming in with a very short period of time, and we had just one game pre-WAFCON, which was the Cameroon officially, before playing Ghana in Portugal, and then traveling down to Morocco for the WAFCON. So now the coach has a lot of tasks ahead, and the lineup we can see from the start of the tournament, his preferred lineup didn't actually get the goals we want. Because against Algeria, against Tunisia, even though we won 3-0, but we can see that we were struggling. And when we played the second game against Botswana, we struggled, even though they packed the balls, and it was very difficult for them to break it down. And in the third game, when the coach tweaked, started playing almost everyone out of position, the goals didn't come also, but at least we can see, okay, these are players that, okay, some of their potentials are actually showing. And in the next game, he sticked with that particular lineup that didn't get the goal against Algeria, and he worked well. And I believe if you are a coach, if maybe Onana is a goalkeeper, Manchester United has been struggling. Onana played as a defensive midfielder. We won 5-0. No coach will want to change a winning team. No coach, no manager will want to change a winning team. And that was what he did. And in the final, he just had to like bring in yellow card magnets, a name she did not like. That is Abiodun. And when Abiodun came in against South Africa, Abiodun is known to be holding midfielder. Abiodun can only hold. Abiodun cannot play offensively. But Abiodun was deployed offensively against South Africa, and it worked. The goal came through that, and it felt like, okay, maybe this approach is what I should use. But in first half, using two pivots did not work. And as a manager, he just had to like tweak his own team. And we just have to give credit to him, whether we like his tactics or we don't. The tactics worked. Yeah, he made a mistake at halftime, and he just had to like make corrections, and it worked. So kudos to Justin Magudu. We all ruled him out. We all underrated him. Yeah. Now he defeated the world champion. So we can all say Coach Justin Magudu is the best coach in the world now. Right. If Serena Wigman wants to oppose this, they should come and face the African champion, European champion and African champion. Finally,
anyway, the last time we played 120 minutes, there was no winner. So for penalties, they did it for us. And well, anyway, hopefully we'll have an opportunity to meet again. Hopefully we qualify for the World Cup when we go for another WAFCON in 2026, and then we meet. Where the big girls do meet, and hopefully the big now then they will have a crop of, you know, they could have understood each other more. The starters are now different from the big girls of then, and then there will be changes. Hopefully, very quickly, let's move on to transfers. Finally, Arsenal Football Club of England have gotten their man. Yes, Victor Gyökeres, after the controversy that played out. Now, Victor Gyökeres, in 10 seconds, do you think he can help Arsenal get that EPL trophy they've been looking for in over 2 decades?
Well, he can, but there are many factors attached to it. It might not be only him, but I believe he can.
Is it that number 9 that will bang in the goals? We know Arsenal will create. We know they always create. Banging in the goals have always been their problem. They have no sure number 9. Do you think he's that guy that will do 30 goals a season and will give them that EPL trophy they are looking for?
Well, coming from almost or over 60 goals a season, I believe he can do more than half of what he did last season at Arsenal, provided that there's creativity behind him. There is Saka, Madueke, Trossard and the likes that can support him. And also, if Arsenal didn't suffer any major injury, I believe they should go heads on for the Premier League title.
All right, still talking about transfers. There's this man that has been wanting in weeks to leave. Yes, we won the trophy, we won the EPL together, but I'm tired. I know they do again. Let me go to Barcelona. It didn't work. Okay, let me go to Bayern. I want to go to Bayern. And now there's been an agreement between both clubs, Bayern Munich and Liverpool, for no other person but the Colombian Luis Diaz. Why was he trying to leave in the first place?
Well, I think in some instances, everybody has their own personal preferences. Maybe because of the fact that he felt he has achieved
It all.
It didn't win the Champions League. No, it didn't win the Champions League in
No, it did
2019.
not.
So maybe he felt Bayern Munich is the next destination, or maybe he felt he's not being appreciated enough at the Messi side, and he felt maybe I should just move. But him going for that particular amount of money, 69.5 million, I think is to me. I think is way too much.
Way too much?
Yes. If all of our players, just look at Lookman. Lookman cannot get a bid of 50 million euros. And I don't believe Diaz is better than Lookman. I can say it anyway. Diaz is not way better than Lookman. I don't even think he's better. So if Diaz can get 60 to 70 million pounds move, and Lookman cannot even get 40 million euros move, so I think that's bad. And maybe they should work on themselves. And I don't know, whatever. I don't know what the problem is, but Bayern should have gone for Lookman, of course. 40 million, 50 million, it will have been a better buy than...
Perhaps they didn't see the ingredients they are seeing in
maybe the agent didn't promote him enough. Maybe he needs to change his team, not only in most Nigerian players. So, but that's just the case.
All right, lastly on transfers, this is perhaps to an average Nigerian football fan, the longest transfer saga in the last 2 years. Victor Osimhen's deal to Galatasaray is almost done, with several hiccups here and there before finally agreeing. Even with this deal that is about to be done, it looks like Galatasaray are the ones who are losing, because Napoli have taken full advantage of the deal they signed with Osimhen a couple of years ago, because now, before the deal was done, you know, it was everything in their favor, because Osimhen would have had to either go wherever they wanted him to go, or they would have gone over, he would have gone back to Napoli where he didn't want to go. But hey, in 30 seconds, Olamide Abe, this deal, the controversy is almost done. He's finally gotten his club. Congratulations in advance to Victor Osimhen.
That congratulations. I think I am going to just limit it a bit, because I didn't want him to go back to Turkey. So Saudi move will have been. I do tell people there's no difference between Saudi and Turkey. Saudi, the major difference is that Saudi is going to pay almost ×5 of what you are getting in Turkey. So why not just go there? We all know, okay, the clause is you are going to play Champions League. Galatasaray is not going to win Champions League, never, not in this world. But well, I don't know. Maybe he's going to win them what they've been winning before, which is the league title, the cup, and now you cannot get dumped from Champions League down to Europa League anymore. So from Champions League you are going
back home.
So it is only the Super League and the Turkish Cup, which they've already won. So at the end of the day, can they make their money back? Maybe on sale, which Napoli will still get 10% on. So I think Napoli will be the biggest winner, not Victor Osimhen, because his salary before was 12 million euros annually, and now 4 million has been added, which is 16. So at the end of the day, Victor is not losing, but we know the prestige is not there. The numbers are the views and everything.
Nobody will be talking about him again.
Of course, nobody.
Scored 90 goals there.
Nobody.
And the Salah scores 25 goals in England or something.
The only way he can win African Footballer of the Year, not to even talk of Ballon d'Or that he has placed 8 before, not to talk of that. The only way he can win African Footballer of the Year now is through WAFCON. You can never win it with a league title anymore. So that is one major reason why I'm sad. But well, he knows what is best for him, and he has done what is best for him. And I think maybe after just 1 or 2 seasons, if he's still in form and people still want him, he's a very good striker, world-class striker. Any day, anytime, I'm going to want him in my team, but that's just how it is. He's going to Turkey now. I'm wishing him the best.
Congratulations should be reduced.
To me, well, I'm not that happy. So congratulations, Simba. I'm not that happy.
All right, one man who does deserve full congratulations, though, is Oscar Piastri. Yes, the 24-year-old Australian won the Belgian Grand Prix, edging out Lando Norris, who has been having a fantastic season alongside his teammates. But somehow, Piastri, the man, did it on a wet surface. And when you keep winning this way, who knows, you might just be clinching the championship, even though it might be difficult, because Norris is having a season like no other one. Interestingly, Oscar Piastri is saying, no, it's not over until it is over. Hey, unfortunately, our time is up this morning. Olamide Abi, a very big thank you for being a part of this for the very first time. Even it's a celebratory edition of the of Point Sports Extra this morning. And it's good to have you on the celebratory edition, especially as we are congratulating once again our Super Falcons who will be parading the streets of Abuja. So if you are in Abuja and you see them pass through, I'm hearing they will be in Wuse, they will be moving around Garki in an open bus movement, in an open bus celebration, and of course they'll be ending at the villa where they'll be meeting with the president. And I'm sure they'll be getting some goodies. I'm very sure that this president will be giving them, perhaps, like you said, perhaps even MON, like he did to the Super Eagles of Nigeria, who came second. How much more the girls who brought it home for the 10th time, who brought home a new trophy and who equally earned $1 million. 70% of that will be going to the federation, while they will be keeping 30%. Congratulations to Coach Justin Madugu. Like Olamide said, not many persons believed in you at the beginning, myself inclusive. Somehow, you've all won our hearts at the end. Big thank you to the production guys for doing their bit and ensuring that we are coming live to you guys. But like I always say, the biggest thanks belongs to you out there, our viewer. Yes, you. Because if you are not there, there will be absolutely no reason for us to be here. My name is Sheikh Gonda, and I say have yourselves a fantastic week. Stay out of trouble. God bless you.